Disney has multiple organizations and companies that we will be featuring. We're mostly going to focus on Walt Disney World, but we will be touching on some of the other locations as well. Okay. Sorry, there's a bit of a delay. All right, so the first theme park that we are going to touch on is the Magic Kingdom theme park. A lot of people call this Disney World, but Disney World has 4 parks, 4 main parks, 2 water parks, lots of resorts and stuff. So Disney World itself is not just a specific park, but this is the Magic Kingdom park. As you see there in the picture, that is Cinderella's castle. So that is one of the main features of the park and is what most people recognize Disney World as. There are many popular attractions at the Magic Kingdom theme park. They include Main Street USA, Dumbo the Flying Elephant, Space Mountain and Splash Mountain, Haunted Mansion, It's a Small World, Pirates of the Caribbean, Mad Tea Party, the Hall of Presidents, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train Ride, as well as Happily Ever After Fireworks Show. And you'll see here in a bit that they've actually done some updates to the park, quite a few in the last few years, but we'll go over some of that here coming up. Their second theme park that they opened was Epcot. Most people recognize this as looking like a large golf ball, but this park was opened in the 1970s and featured more of a futuristic look of what the world would be in the eyes of Disney. Some of the attractions that are featured here are Spaceship Earth, Test Track, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Illuminations, Reflections of Earth, Soarin' Around the World, The World Showcase, The Seas with Nemo and Friends, Frozen Ever After, and Mission Space. As you will see coming up here as well, there will be a bunch of new stuff happening at Epcot. The other 3 parks have been renovated and had new additions over the last few years. And Epcot is currently the park that is under the most construction. So some of these attractions may be shut down currently because they're either getting rid of them or they will be adding some new attractions. But you'll see in the list of things that are coming that I'm going to be featuring here in a little bit of upcoming changes that if you go to this park anytime this year, you're definitely going to run into a lot of construction. So just be aware of that. And like I said, we'll be featuring some of those changes here coming up. The third park at Walt Disney World is called Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's had different name changes over the years. If you haven't been in the last like 10 to 15 years, it used to be called MGM Studios. So they now have it called Disney's Hollywood Studios. And they've had some major renovations at this park, like I said, in the last couple years. They have added the Toy Story Land to this park, as well as Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So it's become a popular destination just because it's got two of the newest features at any of the parks at Disney. So popular attractions here include Fantasmic, as I said, Toy Story Land, and Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Beauty and the Beast live on stage is featured here. Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. That's one of my favorite roller coaster rides. Indoors, very neon lights, kind of a cool ride. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. They are, I believe, have plans to still change this ride at the Disneyland park. They've themed it around a galaxy. Sorry, it's escaping me. The Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy. They've themed it around that. I believe that's possibly going to be happening here as well, but I don't believe they've started that construction yet. And the Muppet Vision 3D is also featured there. And the fourth park at Walt Disney World Resort is Animal Kingdom. Again, they've had some new updates at this park in the last few years. The World of Pandora has been added to the park, and that's been a major attraction. So the World of Avatar. So if you've seen the Avatar movies, that's where that is coming from. They also have the Kilimanjaro Safaris, which is a very popular ride. You actually are in a safari truck that you get to drive through the safari area that they have set up with all of the different animals. And one of the cool features there is if you are on a safari and animals decide to walk in your path, they will wait. They try to keep the animals as calm and safe as possible. So they've been known to sit there for an hour just for a rhino that doesn't want to get out of the way, or one of the other animals. They don't try to force them along until obviously they need to, but they try to let the animals live in their natural habitat as much as possible. They have Festival of the Lion King, Tree of Life Awakenings, Finding Nemo the musical. It's a beautiful show if you haven't had a chance to see that. Up, A Great Bird Adventure, Rivers of Light, We Are One. I hear the show is going to be going away soon, so if you haven't seen that, check it out. They may be closing that down soon. They might be coming up with a new show at Animal Kingdom. And then Dinosaur is also featured at the Animal Kingdom Park. All right, so sorry for the slight delay. Once again, if anybody has any questions about what we've covered, just feel free to mention that in the chat box, or you can unmute your mic and ask the question live if you would like. So new in 2021, I'm featuring some stuff from 2020 just because their parks did shut down. They have delayed some things, some attractions and stuff like that. So, but in 2020, Cinderella's Castle did get a royal makeover. So you can see there a before and after. It might not look much different, but they did change some of the coloring to it, added more of a gold theme and just a more royal experience with that. So that's one of the cool features that happened in 2020. So if you want to, check that out, that will be a kind of a new feature, new site to see at the Magic Kingdom Park. So in 2020, they also opened Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. And that did open in spring of 2020, just before everything shut down. So that is featured at the Hollywood Studios Park. And Epcot Forever is the light show that was being featured at Epcot. They are coming out with a new show, but that was delayed due to COVID. So that show is still being built. They have a bunch of stuff that they're featuring that they will be building for that show. So hopefully that will be coming out in 2021, if not possibly 2022. All right, so this section is going to talk about what else was new in 2020 or in 2021. And there are lots of restrictions, COVID restrictions and stuff that are being put in place. So we're going to kind of cover some of those during this section. So just if anybody wants to see a more comprehensive look or go through all of their stuff, I do have a link here for that where I got all of this information. We're not going to cover everything in detail, but I am going to cover some of the stuff. So there's going to be enhanced cleaning and housekeeping modifications. So whether you're in the parks or staying in a resort, there are enhanced cleaning and housekeeping things that will be happening. So there will be anything that has a touch point, they're going to be, cleaning more often. And I actually, they have new procedures at the resorts. So you're not going to see housekeeping quite as often unless you have something specific that needs to be attended to. There's just new restrictions and stuff for hotels as well. They do recommend physical distancing, and you will see this at the lines and stuff for rides. So you'll see they are trying to create a more virtual line at some experiences, especially at the Galaxy's Edge area. And if you do not, so during COVID, they did require only when they reopened that you could only go to one park per day. They are allowing hoppers again. However, you can only go at 2:00 in the afternoon. But if you're planning on going to Hollywood Studios to go to Galaxy's Edge, their virtual line, you will not be able to go get into the virtual line if you're going there in the second half of the day. They're only allowing guests that go there at the beginning of the day to get into the virtual line. So don't expect to see Galaxy's Edge if you're going to be going to that park in the afternoon. So just make note of that. But as I said, with physical distancing, I've read lots of stories about and heard from customers that have gone that the lines seem longer, but it's because they're spaced out and they're actually shorter because there's not as many people there. And so they're having placards on the ground that space everyone out 6 feet. And so it might seem like the lines are longer, but they're actually a lot shorter just because everybody is spaced out so much. So you'll see that throughout the park, and they will have, placards and information placed throughout the park for that. And then, like I said, reduced contact, they are trying to do more stuff on their app. And so we'll feature some of that information here coming up as well through each of the sections that we're going to talk about with the COVID restrictions. So one of the new things for due to COVID is that they are requiring park reservations. So you will have to go onto a calendar and tell them what day you plan on going to those parks. Before you could just show up at any park, but now because they have capacity limits, they have to know how many people will be going. They usually open those calendars up for resort guests, I believe, a little bit earlier than the general public, and they do have more of a priority. So if you do want to be guaranteed, just get with us about making a reservation at a resort, and we can help you with that as well. Face coverings will be required, and we're going to go over actually all of these sections individually because I did feel like they were important enough to cover individually. They will be doing temperature screenings. And like I said, the My Disney app experience app will show you all kinds of information about COVID restrictions and, just general information about where restrooms are, park maps, times that the parks are open, what the wait times are for certain rides and stuff like that. So that app is very inclusive of almost anything that you can do, and also set up reservations for dining and stuff like that. So that will be something we'll cover here in a bit. We're going to cover each individually. So the park reservations is managed by the Disney Park Pass reservation system, and it's only available if you have a ticket. They will ask you for a code off of the back of your ticket. And this is for anybody that's ages 3 and up, because children under 2 are free, and so they're not including them in the count. The Disney Park Pass system is now open to guests with valid admission. The number of theme park reservation days you can hold at one time varies based on your plans. So Disney Resort and other select guests can make park reservations for dates during their stay for the number of days that they have valid theme park admission. So if you're staying 7 nights, but you only have a 5-day ticket, you can only, you can plan it out. It doesn't have to be 5 days in a row. It can be the second day you arrive through the end of your stay, and you can skip a day in the middle if you want. It's just, you will be able to get your admission for the days that you are at the resort. Annual pass holders can make theme park reservations for up to 3 days at a time and for the length of their stay if staying at a Disney resort or select hotel. And by other select hotel means they have a partnership with hotels. So if you still book through the Disney reservation system, but you're not at a Disney resort and are staying at a partner hotel, they will get more of the priority as well because you're part of the Disney reservation system. And then existing ticket holders, that would be anybody that buys a military ticket or a regular Disney ticket that we have discounted, then you can, use those tickets to make your reservations as well. All right, so face coverings, it's kind of important, and I did put a tip up here in the corner that if you bring bring multiple masks, Florida can get hot. It rains often. Your mask can get sweaty or wet. There are water rides as well, so if you do, get wet on something, then it's not going to be fun to walk around with a wet mask. So they do recommend that you bring, 2 or 3 extra masks each day, just so that you, are comfortable throughout the park, because it is required. You will see here all face coverings, whether disposable or reusable, must be made with at least 2 layers of breathable material. They must fully cover the nose and mouth and secure under the chin. They must fit snugly but comfortably against the side of the face and be secured with ties or ear loops and allow the guest to remain hands-free. At this time, based on guidelines from health authorities, neck gaiters, open chin triangle bandanas, and face coverings containing valves, mesh material, or holes of any kind are not acceptable face coverings. Costume masks are also not considered appropriate and are prohibited from being worn in alignment with our existing rules. The use of face coverings is not a substitute for physical distancing. Also know that face shields do not count as well. So if you are going to wear a face shield, which is you can, but you would need to wear a mask underneath it. So just be aware of those rules as well. There are rides too that obviously things can be removed. I believe that they will post that where if you're on like a water ride or something, they obviously don't want you to be suffocated by a wet mask or anything. So they will, I believe, allow you at certain times to remove them, but just look out for those rules whenever you are in line for those rides. They will be doing temperature screenings. Temperature screenings are required for entry to some locations. You will be required to undergo a temperature screening with no touch thermometers before entry to some locations at Walt Disney World Resort, including Walt Disney World theme parks, the Disney Springs area, and table service restaurants at Disney Resort hotels. Based on a guidance from health authorities, anyone displaying a temperature of 104 or above will be directed to an additional location for screening and assistance. Those with temperatures 100.4 or above will not be allowed entry. Those in their party will not be allowed entry either. So before you leave your home or leave your resort, whatever, if you have a temperature thermometer with you, then it would be good to, check yourself before you go, just to be sure, so you don't run into any situations when you get to the parks. You don't want sick people at the parks spreading illness. So And then, as I said, the My Disney Experience app features lots of information, including mobile order service for dining, scannable codes for select restaurant menus. That way, a lot of the restaurants, you won't actually have a paper menu given to you. That way, you can access it digitally. And also online check-in at Disney Resort hotels. But there's, like I said, a ton of information on that app that really will help you throughout your vacation experience. So I definitely recommend downloading the app before you go. More than likely, you will use the app to do a lot of your reservations and stuff anyway, and to load the tickets into your My Disney Experience account. That way, you don't have to have your physical tickets. You still need to have your physical tickets with you, but you don't have to use them necessarily to get them out to go enter the parks. You can use your mobile app for that. All right. So just know that if you are visiting Walt Disney World Resort, you are voluntarily assume all risk for exposure to COVID-19. So there is a disclaimer. If you're going to be going to Disney, just know you have that risk when you go to the parks. Okay. I think we're going to go into some more updates here of what's coming in the future. All right, so coming soon to Walt Disney World Resort. A lot of these dates are kind of up in the air. So as I was going through and researching like what's coming, I just ran into a lot of things have been delayed due to COVID. So we're gonna see hopefully some of these things in the future. Some of these things I know that this one here is actually construction has restarted on this. So they're looking at possibly late 2021 or into 2022 for this opening. But the Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser, a 2-night all-immersive adventure, should be opening sometime here soon. So as that information comes out, I'm sure there will be much more information, press releases coming from Disney, and we will get that out to you guys as well as I hear that information. All right, and here's a glance of what's coming basically from 2021 to 2023. As I said, a lot of this stuff has been pushed back. 2021 is still planning to be a big year for Disney, as it is their 50th anniversary. I believe the celebration is going to be around the 1st of October of this year. So a lot of this stuff was planned. These updates were planned to go along with the anniversary. However, due to COVID, obviously a lot of it got delayed. So there will be some things that will still make it, but it doesn't seem as though it's going to um, be happening like they planned. So the Tron roller coaster in Tomorrowland was pushed back to 2022. So some of these things have been started construction wise, they just haven't finished them. So a lot of that is just on hold, and or they're slowly getting back into starting the construction. They will be doing an update to the Hall of Presidents with the new election. So that's likely going to be shut down here soon. And they will be adding Joe Biden, and then they will likely open back up in the summer of 2021. Princess and the Frog reimagining of Splash Mountain. That will be happening more than likely at Disneyland first, from what I've been reading, and then they will probably bring that update to Disney World, to the Magic Kingdom Park, and that will likely be happening probably late 2022 or into 2023. Other than that, like I said, they've been doing a lot of updates in Magic Kingdom Park in the last few years, so there's nothing else that's major that's happening in that park currently, construction-wise. Disney's Hollywood Studios, they have the new Roundup rodeo barbecue table service restaurant coming as an expansion to the Toy Story Land. They do, I believe, expect that to be opening up later this year. And then is just continued development of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. And Disney's Animal Kingdom has the Otter Grotto, a really nice otter habitat with both under and above water viewing areas. That's still being worked on. And then there are still plans to have walk around Kevin, the bird from Up. It's a Disney character that will be walking around the park. That is one of the things with COVID that you will not see quite as often is the characters from Disney throughout the parks. Basically just because of COVID and the safety of guests coming face-to-face contact. They just want to keep their cast members safe as well as the guests. So you won't see quite as many of those experiences as you have in the past. So Epcot still, as I said, has a large amount of construction projects and things happening. A lot of these were going to be featured for this year for the anniversary, but again, got pushed back or possibly even scrapped altogether. And they're just not sure when Disney will get back on track with, profitability and everything with COVID that's happened. So they do have the 4 neighborhoods that I featured this last year in our presentation, but the World Showcase, World Celebration, World Nature, and World Discovery, those neighborhoods that they're going to be creating, at the Epcot Park. So it'll be a whole new experience at Epcot, and it'll be a nice welcome facelift for that park. Many of those projects, though, have been pushed back until 2022 and 2023. Harmonious, which was the new fireworks light show extravaganza that was being planned to debut in spring of 2020. As I said earlier, that other show had kind of taken the place of the previous fireworks show. That one looks like it's going to be coming possibly in the summer of 2021. There is signs of the Harmonious being built currently. So there are pictures and stuff of that being built. So it could come later this year, but they're expecting it to be up later of summer of 2021. The Play Pavilion, which is replacing the Wonders of Life in time for the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary. This also appears to be delayed and probably won't open until early 2022. So it will be missing the 50th anniversary. But that experience does look cool from the things that I've been reading about it. So Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is the biggest budget project at Walt Disney World, and that looks to open in summer of 2021. So again, that's a huge section that will be, that's still planned, and looking forward to that coming out in 2022. Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. It's a family-friendly Ratatouille trackless dark ride that will open in an expansion of the France Pavilion. And then construction for that, I believe, is done already. They just haven't opened it yet. So we'll probably see announcements for that here soon. And then one of the projects that was talked about possibly being scrapped, but it looks like that is still happening, is the Moana Journey of Water, and that's slated to open in 2022. And I believe that appears to be featured somewhere near the front of the Epcot Park at the entrance area. All right. So we're now just going to go back into some more basic type information about Disney World resorts. So at Walt Disney World Resort, they have resorts that you actually can stay at, and we can help you with that booking any of these resorts. So these are all of the resorts that are currently at Walt Disney World property. However, not all of them are currently open, and the next slide will feature that. But Disney has 12 deluxe villas. So Bay Lake Tower at Disney's Contemporary Resort, Animal Kingdom Villas at Jambo House or Kidani Village, Beach Club Villas, Boardwalk Villas, Old Key West Resort, Polynesian Villas and Bungalows, Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa, the villas at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Boulder Ridge Villas at Disney's Wilderness Lodge, Copper Creek, and Disney's Riviera Resort, which is one of the newest resorts on the Walt Disney property. And that just opened in 2020. Deluxe resort hotels, there are 8 of them. As you can see, many of them are as a resort that also has villas, so you'll see some of these repeated. Animal Kingdom Lodge, one of my favorite resorts because they have animals outside of the resort that are literally right outside your windows. If you have a Savannah View room, or an Arusha View room, those do feature animals outside them, and they usually rotate the animals, so you'll have different animals that you would see throughout your stay. But they have public viewing areas that you can go out as well, and then they also have like safari type experiences where you can like feed the animals and stuff that cost extra. So if you are interested in that resort, I've stayed there 3 times myself, so I'm very familiar with it. But it is a really cool place. Beach Club Resort, Boardwalk Inn, the Contemporary Resort, the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, Polynesian Village Resort, Wilderness Lodge, and Yacht Club Resort. And many of the deluxe properties are on the monorail system, so it's an easy ride to the Magic Kingdom Park and Epcot if you want to go to either of those parks from your resort. All of the resorts do feature shuttle service as well. It's included with your stay, so you do not have to have a car to drive to the parks or anything like that. You have your transportation taken care of once you're at a resort. Some of them also feature like a paddle boat or a gondola service from them as well. So like I said, there's lots of cool different ways to get to the parks from your resort. So there are 4 moderate resort hotels, Caribbean Beach Resort, Coronado Springs, which just had a major refurbishment with a new tower that's opened, and New Orleans Resort, French Quarter, and New Orleans Resort Riverside. Port Orleans Resort and French Quarter and Port Orleans Resort Riverside. The Port Orleans Riverside is probably our most booked resort. It's very military friendly, so it's one of their larger resorts as well. So a lot of times they do have the military discount that's available to military as well as DoD employees. So that's quite a popular resort for the military. And then there are 5 resort hotels at the value level: All-Star Movies, All-Star Music, All-Star Sports, Art of Animation Resort, and Pop Century Resort. A lot of these resorts have undergone renovations in the last year or two. So I know like at Pop Century, a lot of the rooms now feature queen beds instead of doubles, or the Art of Animation Resort does have a lot of families. It's mostly family suites. And then they do have the standard rooms, which are the Little Mermaid themed. At Art of Animation, the family suites are Finding Nemo, Lion King, and Cars. So they have a really cool, decor to them based on each of those movie themes. But these are a lot of value friendly resorts, and they do have a lot of availability for military as well, generally. And then they do have a campground. The cabins at Fort Wilderness Campground is actually more so considered a moderate type resort because the cabins do feature sleeping for up to 6 people, but they are at the Wilderness Campground area, Fort Wilderness Campground area. Um, and you can add dining plans to the cabins or the campsites. And then there is a campground campsites for Fort Wilderness. There is not a military discount for the campsites, but the cabins are featured sometimes for the military discount. And then there's also some hotels at the Disney Springs area. And so those are actual Disney, they're not Disney resorts where you would typically be able to purchase a dining plan. The dining plans aren't featured right now due to COVID. However, so any of those other resorts you can get the dining plan at, but at the hotels you can't. And many of them are just partner hotels, so they might be owned by another company. So that's why I don't necessarily feature them as a specific resort. All right. Once again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to chat, post it in the public chat box, or you can unmute and come online if you need to. So here's the current status of the resorts that are open due to COVID. They have had shut a lot down and then are slowly opening them up, but a good majority of them are open. So here is that list. You can see All Star Movies is not opening until March. Beach Club Resort is not opening until May. The Wilderness Lodge will be opening in the beginning of June. And then the Polynesian will be opening sometime in the summer of 2021. Boardwalk was not listed on here. The Boardwalk Resort, the villas are, but the resort is not. That one has been delayed and they're not exactly sure when that one will be opening. If you want to make any reservations at any of these resorts, just call our office and we can get a quote for you. All we need to know are your dates of travel, number of guests, how many adults, how many children. If you do have children, what are their ages? And then let us know your military status or DoD employee status, and we can help you with quotes for them. And as I said, they're not doing dining plan right now, but that's what we're going to be featuring, I believe, here in the next slides. Is we're going to go through a presentation of what pricing would be for these. Oh, sorry, tickets are first. There are currently 4 types of tickets available for Disney World. There is a base ticket. That means you go to 1 park per day. Currently, I would recommend that option just because with the 2 p.m. restriction for hopper option, it's not something that I would recommend doing unless you just absolutely want to try to see more than 1 park in a day. And you're only there for like 2 days and you want to try to see 3 or 4 of the parks. Otherwise, it's just going to be difficult because of the way that they have their reservation system and everything with tickets. The military promotional tickets do come with, which is listed as number 4 there, the salute tickets. Those do come with a hopper option automatically. Like I said, for a while there, they weren't allowing hopping, but they are now. So you can do that. It's just something I wouldn't necessarily recommend with all the restrictions. So the hopper option does allow you to go to more than 1 park per day. And then the Hopper Plus option, which really is not valid right now because the water parks will be closed until March 7th. So this option I wouldn't even purchase or allow you to purchase until after they start opening on March 7th. Or if you're planning on going after March 7th. Right now, our office they're not allowing us to sell these tickets. But here in the next couple weeks, I believe that after the 15th of February, we're going to be getting a new ticket system for Disney. And we probably at that time will be able to start selling all ticket types again. I think this is going to feature, okay, yeah, so magic bands. Our magic bands are basically your key to everything at Disney. So it'll store your room key if you're at a resort. It'll have your tickets on it, your dining plan, which isn't available currently, a payment source, as well as your memory maker, which is a photo package that you can purchase to get photos throughout your stay. So the Magic Bands come with all resort guests automatically, but you can purchase them separately if you're just going as a ticket holder. All right. Other offerings at the Walt Disney World Resort include Disney Springs, which is basically a shopping area. They might have some small like gift shops, lots of restaurants, just a lot of different entertainment type situations there. They have Cirque du Soleil show, which those things are kind of closed right now due to COVID, but when they're open, that's all featured at Disney Springs. Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach are their two water parks, which will be opening on March 7th. So here's an example of a vacation package, and to give you an idea of how much pricing is and how much you save as being a military member or a DoD employee. So I have a family of 4 here, 2 adults and then 2 children, ages 12 and 7. And just so everyone knows, a child ticket is considered anyone ages 3 to 9. So an adult, the 12-year-old will be considered an adult in terms of pricing for tickets. And dining plan as well when those become available again. And anyone over the age 10 and up, I believe, gets charged. I believe that's the threshold also for when they start pricing the meals for adults as well. So on this example, it's a 7-night vacation, and they're going to be arriving on May 9th and checking out on May 16th. This is a slower time typically, just because it's before school's out, so it is a time that I recommend going. Usually the first couple of weeks of May are a slower period for Disney. And so with this, they're going to be getting a 6-day park hopper ticket. I'm putting the park hopper on there because that's typically the most popular ticket type, even though I know with COVID it's kind of restricted right now. However, to compare apples to apples, you'll see here the military one comes with the hopper option, so I wanted to compare apples to apples for the DoD or employee, or for just a general person that would be going to Disney. Dining plan currently not available, and there is information on what the cost will be for Memory Maker. Disney's Magical Express is the ground transportation from the airport to the resort, round trip before and after your stay. They have released news. Sources have said that this will be going away in 2021. So take advantage of it if you can this year. Otherwise, after that, you will be likely paying for this service, or they're really, because of rideshare and other sources, Disney is not going to be offering Magical Express after 2021. I wrote going away in 2021. It's actually going away in 2022. My apologies on that. Same way with Magic Express hours. That's going to be going away after 2021. So again, usually they have a schedule of extra hours during the week for resort guests. That is, I think, a little bit more limited now due to COVID. However, if they get back more to a normal schedule, that will be that is typically a perk that you would get as being a resort guest. However, they are going to be changing it to just a 30-minute entry into the park before the general public gets into the parks. So if you are resort guests, the park opens at 10. You'll be going in at 9:30 starting in 2022. That's the plan currently. Unless something changes with, maybe if there's an uproar or something, maybe they'll change that. But just know that currently you will get those extra magic hours if they have them. But with COVID, things are a little more restricted right now. So here is a diagram of the cost of what each. I kind of wanted to do a different level for each type. So we have a value resort, a moderate level resort, and a deluxe property. So as you can see, there is significant savings whether you are military, DoD, and general public. A military member must be active or retired or 100% disabled, or their spouse can also purchase it if the military member is either deceased or if they are deployed. So the military spouse will be able to get the tickets as well as the room discount with the spouse ID. They do have to have the spouse dependent ID. Now, a child with a dependent ID does not get the military discount on the tickets or the resort. They must be the military member or the spouse. The DoD employee, you'll see the pricing of the resorts is pretty much the same. Looks like I have a typo there on the Coronado Springs, so that's going to be about $200 less actually. But that one is the price is going to be the same for the resort because DoD employees do get the military discount on the resort. They just don't get the military promotional tickets. However, we have our regular discounted tickets, which will still save you a few $100s off of the regular price. So like usually a 4-day ticket, for example, I don't remember off the top of my head, but for example, it would probably be around $400. If you bought it at the gate, it would be around $500 per ticket. So just so you know, just to give you an idea, that's how much of a savings that you'll get with our regular discounted tickets. We don't charge any taxes or fees on those tickets as well. So as you can see, significant savings, and this general public price is for discounted packages. So throughout the year, Disney does offer discounts. They're offering a pretty decent discount right now, probably because of COVID and trying to get people into their resorts. So even if this discount wasn't available, that general public would be paying probably a few $100s more, if not $1,000 more for each of these packages for a standard pricing. So you can still see you're saving a few $100s, if not a couple $1,000s on some of these packages. Memory Maker is $199 at the park for the length of your stay. If you purchase it in advance with the package, it would be $169. And then for military, you can purchase it for $98 at the gate, and it is good for the length of your stay. All right, let's see here. This is just a diagram of the current military promotional tickets. So these pricing are the same as 2020. However, Disney extended them in through September 26th of 2021. However, these ticket prices here are only going to be available through the 14th of February. So if you're active, retired, military, you can purchase through the 14th of February. After that date, I'm assuming they're going to be announcing a new ticket price, unless they extend it again. They'll be offering a new ticket for the 2021 promotion. So if you are looking at going to Disney, I would recommend, and you are active or retired, military, or 100% disabled, you can get those military promotional tickets at this price currently through the 14th of February. So just know that. The military resort discount is available through the 17th of December of 2021. So that's good for active, retired military personnel as well as DoD employees. The number of rooms allocated is limited, and then there are minimum length of stay requirements throughout the year. So if you have any questions about, anytime that we get a quote for anybody, we will ask for your status, and then we will try to get you the best rates and deals possible. Currently, Disneyland is closed in California. They've restricted most of their entertainment venues. So due to COVID, they are currently closed. Um, but they have tried opening up the downtown Disney district. So there are some things there that may be opening. But for the parks, they're currently closed, and their hotels are also currently closed. So for more information about their opening, I would just pay attention to the news, as well as just go to the Disney website for those updates when they come out. But Disneyland does have two parks. They do have Disneyland, which is very much similar to the Magic Kingdom park, and then Disney's California's Adventure, which is gotten a lot of cool features there as well. So there's three hotels that are direct Disneyland hotels: the Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, Disneyland Hotel, and Disney's Paradise Pier Hotel. And then they have Downtown Disney District, which is very similar to Disney Springs in Florida. Disney Cruise Line was established in 1995. These are the four ships that they currently have: Disney Magic, Disney Wonder, Disney Dream, and Disney Fantasy. They have three new ships coming in 2021, 22, and 23. I'm assuming those are still on schedule. However, as everyone knows, with everything shutting down with COVID, cruises on right now are continuing to be shut down. However, they are still, a lot of these cruise lines are taking bookings in the future. So if you are interested, you can get the military discount on these cruises if you are active or retired military and DoD employees. So those are pretty limited, and it'll be interesting to see once cruising gets going again, how many of those cruises they'll open, possibly open more up for the military discount. But if you are interested in cruising with Disney, just let me know and I can get you a quote. And some of the cool features that Disney Cruise Lines have that other cruise lines don't are discussed here on the next slide once it opens. One of the things that is featured is fireworks at sea. No other cruise line does fireworks. They do not have casinos on Disney Cruise Lines. They have rotational dining, so you'll dine at a different restaurant each night. They have unlimited soda on their cruises. You get a royal welcome, so as you enter the cruise, the ship, your last name is announced and the crew welcomes you. And then Disney movie premieres happen on cruise ships. So if they're happening on land, they're also happening on cruises. So whatever the next Disney feature is that's in theaters will usually be played at sea as well. So Adventures by Disney is a tour company for Disney. So again, with COVID, there's a lot of international travel that is being restricted. But if you are interested in touring, other countries, Disney style, you definitely get VIP treatment throughout your vacations on these tour packages. And I actually, on one of my trainings at Disneyland in California, I met one of the tour guides, the VIP tour guides that we got. He still works for Disneyland, but at certain times of the year, he works for Adventures by Disney and is a tour guide. And so it's really cool to follow him on his adventures. But they have very attentive, it's Disney, so you're going to get the wonderful Disney experience throughout your vacation if you go with these packages. So if you've ever booked with, Trafalgar, Colette Vacations, any tour company like that, this is going to be very similar, but they have, you're just going to have the Disney experience, Disney twist to it. And they do have some unique itineraries as well. And I believe Aulani is our next feature. Aulani is the Hawaiian resort. They are reopened. Now Hawaii does have some COVID restrictions, So I would definitely look into those and see if you would be able to meet those restrictions, because they do have quarantine periods and stuff like that if you're going to Hawaii. But they are open for business, and they do have a military promotion that is available right now. It's up to 40% off, and it depends on if you're going to be going during um, midweek. So Sunday through Thursday, I believe, is up to 40% off. Yeah. And then 25% off for Saturday, Friday and Saturday nights on select rooms. And if you're staying for more than 2 nights. So if you're interested in going to Hawaii and again, want that Disney experience there, I've only heard amazing things. I also had a former MWR coworker at another installation that used to work here. So, I over the years have gotten information from that person, but it is an amazing Disney experience in Hawaii, and it is on the island of Oahu. So, again, if you want to, go see Pearl Harbor, that type of stuff, you can visit that from the Alani Resort. Just give us a call. We can give you some more information and give you a quote. I know we're running close to the end of time here, but I haven't seen any comments in the public chat section, but if you have any comments, concerns, or questions, just let me know in the comment section, or if you want to come online with the mic, you can do that live too. And here is our contact information if you want to give us a call. Just so everyone knows, I am teleworking, but Angel is in the office and she will be able to give me your information, or if you want to email me directly, that's probably the best way to contact me. And then I can either call you if you need to talk about something or have specific questions and don't want to send a bunch of emails. But otherwise, we are at the end of the presentation, so feel free to post any information in the chat for questions, or if you want to get on the mic as well. All right, so I have, it looks like Matthew is asking, as an active military member, how many tickets am I able to purchase with the military discount? All right, thanks for asking that, Matthew. I don't believe that was featured in the slide. You can purchase up to 6 per promotional period. Because they extended it this year and it went into the new year, they're allowing you to have had, if you purchase 6 during the 2020 year, you can purchase 6 then. Even though it's under the same promotion, but it's in the new year, they're allowing you to purchase 6. So if you, like I said, if you're going to go in the 2021 promotional year, you can purchase 6 at the current price. So if your military spouse, if your spouse is also military, then each of you would be able to purchase 6. However, if they are not an actual active or retired military member and only a spouse dependent, they cannot purchase an additional 6. Excuse me. So I will let you know though, at the universal promotion coming up, they do allow the military member to purchase 6 and the spouse to purchase 6. So they allow 12 tickets total during the promotional period, which I'll obviously feature that during the next promotion. And just to put a plug in for Universal as well, theirs is a Freedom Pass this year, which is good every day of the year. So it's basically an annual pass. It's good through the 31st of December, no blackout dates. You can purchase, like I said, 6 for yourself, and that's good for your family and friends, anybody who wants to join you. And then if you have a spouse with an ID, they can also purchase up to 6, so 12 total. All right. Doreen is asking, with difficulty getting military IDs updated expired, do you anticipate discount difficulties? I haven't run into anything with that. I know military is going to check, or Disney is going to check the ID. I'm assuming we would try to find some workaround. If you want to send me an email, Doreen, let me know your situation, or I can contact our Disney rep and let them know that there is difficulty getting IDs updated that are expired. and see what they would do about that. Because that's not a situation that we've run into yet. Um, so yeah, sorry, I don't have a specific answer, but I can get one for you.
Can I ask, what was the name of the hotel that you stayed at that had the access to the animals?
Yes, that's Animal Kingdom Lodge. And that is in the Animal Kingdom park area. It's actually one of the more, it's for a little further out away from the stuff. It actually takes about 30 minutes to get to like Magic Kingdom on a bus. I mean, most people don't realize that, there's a couple miles of road between I mean, all of the parks and everything. So with the different additional stops and stuff that they make at, they don't just usually stop at one resort. Sometimes they do, but if there's two resorts that are in an area, it can take a little bit longer. But it can take 20 to 30 minutes to get to Magic Kingdom from the Animal Kingdom Lodge. But I think part of the reason why that also is a little bit further out of the way is they need the quiet for the animals. They don't want to have loud noises or amusement parks with fireworks and stuff going off near the animals to scare them. So it is a little bit more secluded, but like I said, it's really one of the coolest parks, I think, to stay at, because it's like staying in a zoo. It's really cool. And they have their dining options there have an African flair to them, so the dining cuisine is unique as well. So anybody that I know I've recommended it to and stayed there has loved it, and many people do like the food options too, just because it does have an interesting twist to some of the cuisine that's there.
And what is your email address again so we can email you?
Yes, my email is my name, so Steven, Steven .gales, GALES @DLA.mil. And if you're also looking, my Angel in my office, her last name is Caswell, so it's angel.caswell@dla.mil as well. So if anybody wants to reach out, like I said, I'm teleworking currently, but Angel is in the office every day, 9:30 to 14:30. So she will be the person that you will more than likely come in contact with to pick up tickets or to get tickets directly from. So either one of us you can contact. Our phone number is 269-961-5084. If you want to call us and ask any questions as well, or get a quote, or just want information. We do have Disney brochures and stuff in the office, so if you do want to stop in, I know we have some more on order. I'm not sure if they're in yet, but we do have more coming. Do we have any more questions? All right, it looks like everyone has got their fill of Disney information currently. So I wanted to say thank you for everyone who participated today. If you want to send me an email for any questions, you can do that, or you can also go to email that mwrbattlecreek@dla.mil to get the slide presentation. I would be happy to share that with you as well. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming, and I hope you have a great day, and we'll hopefully see you at our Universal presentation on February 24th.